All right, hello class, and welcome to a short tutorial on how to use Sibelius to take your handwritten melody and make it nice and computery and fancy. So let's turn around the screen and get to it. So the first thing you'll need to do is open Sibelius and wait for the music to play. All right, so Sibelius will automatically open this quick start guide. I'm going to go up to New Score. I'm going to choose Treble Staff. I'm also going to choose 4/4 because that's what time signature my song is in. I'm going to choose No Key Signature, and then I'm going to choose A minor. I'm sorry, C major. And then I'm going to give my song a name, which will be Look Mom, I Can Notate. All right, composer is me, Nathan Smith. Oh, there we go. And create. Yay, all right, so let's expand some things. First thing that you should do before anything else is save your work, because Sibelius made the project but hasn't saved the project. So Command S for Command Save. Look Mom, I Can Notate. I will capitalize the C. All right, so now let's go and get things set up. So I'm going to expand my window. Right here I can enlarge things. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And we're just about ready to go. Now I have a small keyboard that I want to input on Sibelius so that I can actually type. I can play the notes into the system. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Note, Input, Input Devices, and then it says right there KeyStation Mini 32, which is what mine is. Now if I press a key, it'll test it. Yay, all right. So we're good to go. Even if you didn't have a keyboard, this would still work. So let's look at the first one. So let's say I'm going to start with a quarter note. I'm going to go up to my keypad, and if this isn't showing up for you, go to View and see where keypad is checked. Make sure that's checked, and then you'll see that keypad because you're going to be using this a little bit. So I'm going to grab a quarter note for my keypad, and you can see there's actually three ways that I could notate. I could either hold the cursor over where I want it to be. Haha, there is a D note. Or I could, alternatively, I'm going to press the forward key to go to the next available note slot, like that. And so the note value will light up blue, which is the one that's selected. And I could just type in maybe a C on the keyboard right there. Or now that my keyboard is working, I can just type a C. Ta-da! I can press a C and it will give me a C. But let's go back to the top and begin. So let's see. I've got a C quarter note as my first one. When I'm using the keyboard and the piano, there's a couple of quick things that'll get you to where you want to go faster. Every note has its letter value. Is it a C, a D, an E? And it has its note value. Is it a whole note, a half note, or a quarter note? If I wanted to have a quarter note, I would press 4. If I wanted that to be a half note, I would press 5. If I wanted it to be a whole note, I would press 6. Or if I go the other way, okay, there's 4 again. If I wanted it to be an eighth note, I would press 3, and I could press 2 if I wanted the 16th note, which we haven't even gotten to. So I'm going to go back to pressing 4, okay, and then I'm going to press C on my little piano key station, and there we go. I've got a C. Now my next note is also a C, so I'm going to press the right arrow on the keyboard and light up my next slot blue, and I'll press it again. Now let's say that I had accidentally pressed D, which is not what I want. If you press the up and the down keys, it'll take you either up or down in the scale, right? So it won't do any sharps and flats. But since we're in the key of C, it'll take you up and down in the C major scale. Okay, so I've got C, C. My next notes are eighth notes. So I'm going to go over, light up the next segment blue. I'm going to press 3, which is the eighth note, and I'll put in my eighth notes. Okay, and then I'm going to press 4 for the next one. Actually, that one's already going to be a quarter note, so that's fine. Okay, if I go to the next one, I need these to be eighth notes, so I'm going to press 3, and here we go. And then the next one is going to be a half note, so I'll press 5 and put in the C. There we go. We're on our way. Let's keep on trucking. All right, so now we get to a rest. This next one needs to be a rest, so I'm going to light up that whole rest blue, and I'm going to press 4. Okay, so you can see that it made that whole rest, turned it into the value 4, and 4 was the quarter note. Now let's say it actually put in a note there. Oops, I want that to be not a C, but a whole rest. I'm sorry, a quarter rest. Well, all I have to do is press 0, and it'll turn whatever note value it was into a rest. Right, so whatever note value I have, quarter note, half note, whole note, if I press 0, it'll turn the note into the rest version of the note. So now I'll move on to the C. Now this measure is going to be a tie eventually, but I'm just going to keep doing my thing with the eighth notes. Whoops. And then I'll go back and tie those together later. All right, so a couple of things that I need to do. I'm going to take my cursor and click on the D, click on the D right there. So these two are supposed to be tied. So if I go up to my keypad and I press this thing, the tie, ta-da, now they're tied. Great. So I can listen to what I have so far if I do this. If I'm in view and I hit transport, transport will take me back and forth in the playback. So it has the machine in there that will play back what I did on just a simple piano sound. But if I wanted, I could make it a different instrument. So I'm going to press play and have a listen to what it sounds like. Okay, so good thing I did because I realized one of my notes was incorrect. That's supposed to be a D. All right, job done. So now I've got my song nearly done, but I've got all these extra measures that I didn't need. So what I'll do is I'll click right in the middle of the measure. That gets one of them, but now I'm going to press Shift and click down to the last one. Yay. Okay, so I've got all of those extra ones selected that I don't need. I'm going to go to Home, Delete. It will ask me, are you sure? And I will say yes. Ta-da! And look what that fixes. At the last measure, it's going to put a double line. And the computer likes to think in terms of 4 and 8 when it comes to its spacing, which is good because that's how musicians think. So it worked its best and it worked its magic to make sure that these were nicely spaced and that I have 4 measures per line, which is a good thing. All right, the thing that I'm missing, however, are chord symbols above the notes. So now let's go and grab those. I'm going to go to Text, and I'm going to go to Chord Symbol, and then I'm going to hover my cursor over my first note and press it. All right, now I've got to input my chords, and that's just typing things in. So I'm going to press capital C, space bar, that's the whole measure. Whoops. Now see, I went too far. I wanted my note to be right here, but I went a little bit too far. So what I have to do is press delete and it'll go back to the beginning. So that is a little frustrating. You just got to be careful. All right, now we have an A minor chord right here, so I'm going to go capital A, but then a little m, and that will give me A minor. For the B diminished, which is what I want right here, I'm going to go B, D, I, M. There you go. Same thing. Diminished, little circle, same thing. Then I just click away, and there we go. Now, the only thing I don't like about Sibelius is that without notating the actual notes on another staff, this won't play back my C chord, my F, my G. At least I haven't figured out how to do that simply. Finale will do that, but I like Sibelius for a lot of other reasons. All I need to do now, if I want a PDF of this, is to go up here to, I believe it's File, Export, and you see right there PDF, score only. Well, since I only have the treble clef, it's going to give me all of that. And then I'm going to go down here where it says File Name and say, look, Mom, I can notate with one E. All right, then I'll press Export. There it is. So I can email that to anybody I please, and now everyone can bask in the splendor of my compositional magnificence. All right, that's how you do it. Go ahead and give it a shot.